Well, I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live from the North Shore of Oahu. It is December 30th, 2014. Thought it'd be a perfect day to do sales training from the beach because there's like no snow, right? 68 degrees outside, a little bit overcast. We're talking about the anatomy of three bids. Sorry, I got all wrapped up in what the weather was like today. Talking about the anatomy of the three bids. Now, the first thing was people are told to get three bids from governing bodies, from agencies, and that's what their parents have told them, and that's what they feel like they have to do. The second thing is the buyer likes to see the salesperson squirm. They like to see that person have to go through a lot of hassles in order to make the sale. The third thing is there's a phantom friend, family member, co-worker, neighbor who's a pain in the butt that really is the driving force of getting three bids, so they can say, yeah, I've done my due diligence, or whatever phrase they want to use, okay? Now, the fifth thing is it could just be all about price. And if it's all about price, that's not good. There should be a reason. If somebody is telling you it's all about price, in the back of your mind, back here, or even the front of your mind, you should be scared. There's something wrong if somebody's solely shopping on price, right? Because you got to know that almost every time that somebody solely shops on price, it leads to problems. And when somebody's looking for huge discounts, that person is going to be the biggest thorn in your side because they want things to happen and they're going to devalue your process, right? So you got to know this from the very beginning. This is one of the reasons why you're asking criteria and figuring out what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to get three bids. I'm going to go over this information with you. Then what? How are you going to make this decision? People are like, Scott, you can't ask that question. I'm saying, yes, you can. Hey, if you're going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours with somebody, ask all the difficult questions. They're going to ask you a difficult question. Your job is to ask difficult questions too. Okay, so you got these three bids. How are you going to pattern your decision? How are you going to make this decision? Well, I'm going with the cheapest one. Is that the right thing to do? Yeah, solely I'm going with the cheapest one now. Some government agencies and some places shop this way. I'm not talking about them. Let's take those people and push them off the table. We're talking about a consumer or a business who thinks that that's the right thing to do. Now, your job at this point is to point out why there's a bunch of flaws in making that decision. This isn't gonna work. These guys are using like a tow strap that's like this long and they're pulling a car. It's like making a bad decision, right? And just solely buying on price. It's a bad thing to do. Right, so they're going through this decision, and you got to point out to them why that's not a good thing for them. Why that them buying that cheapest widget or that product is actually going to cost them more money over time than going with your service, as long as it's true. Okay, as long as it's true, that's okay to talk about. So go through and figure out when you're talking with these people, it's okay to ask them their buying criteria. And I'm telling you, sometimes people are like, Scott, I got nuts in my stomach about asking it. I got to tell you, I got nuts in my stomach about not asking it, because if I don't ask it, that's the question. It's always a question that you don't ask that bites you in the butt. It's always a question that you don't ask that bites you in the butt. It's always a question you don't, I'm telling you this 3 times for a reason. It's always a question you don't ask that bites you in the butt. Like, if you feel like you need to ask it, you should ask it, okay? So determine their buying criteria. And if they don't have one, you need to figure out what it is. You need to work with them to develop one, because sometimes that's what a job of a salesperson is to do, to outwork the competition, so the only way that somebody can take that job is to underbid you, okay? Cool? Now, if you could leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be great, about the anatomy of three bids. To the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button. Subscribe. And then you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Reddit, Orchid. There's a ton of them. Scott Sylvan Bell. Only Scott Bell with Sylvan. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.